Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but we are back.
Welcome back, listeners.
This is the Nerd Eye Council.
2/3 of the Nerd Eye Council.
It's a semi-new look
Right.
Nerd Eye Council. I am your host, Nate the Great, and I am joined by my colleague.
Darth Payne in the house.
Yeah, that's right.
And we are going to be joined by Wreck-It Ralph, if all goes well.
Reporting live from the field of Jakku.
Otherwise known as Dyer, Indiana.
Dyer, Indiana, exactly.
And so we've kind of delayed the podcast just a little bit because of the weird time situation where we live. Ralph is an hour behind us, even though he's less than an hour away. Yeah, it's the weird Bermuda Triangle that we live in. But he's going to be calling in, and hopefully, if all goes well, he will be our first caller on the Nerd Eye Council.
So here's hoping.
So, I'm going to jump right into this, because there's been several things going on, but the only thing that Darth Payne wants to talk about is Star Wars. Particularly the awesome Rebels episode that just occurred 1 week ago, and we do apologize. Things have been up in the air with the council. We talked last time you heard from us. We were at the Logan movie, and we kind of I mentioned there's going to be some spin-off podcasts on the Nerd Eye Network, or whatever we're going to call it yet.
That would be an appropriate name for this.
It's kind of catchy. That just came out of nowhere. Ralph's supposed to be doing one. Ralph's up to his ears in bullshit, so the podcast has been kind of put aside. I'm going to be doing one, and I'm throwing the name out there. It's called Ideas with Darth Payne. You'll get the picture when you listen to it. And I also want to touch upon and Nate's.
I'm in the midst of working on one of my own name to be determined still, but I've got some ideas for it.
It's in the works.
Right.
And we are going to remind me to talk about YouTube. We are on YouTube. I'll just say it now.
Right.
We're on YouTube thanks to Wreck-It Ralph, so he has not completely abandoned us. He is doing some of the groundwork. Believe it or not, that's not really his style, but he has. Way to go, Ralph. And so we're on YouTube now, and the only thing, it's under Nerd Eye Council. You can find us. I'm the only subscriber so far, but let's change that, peeps. And the only thing we have uploaded is Ralph threw up a prank call that we made at work, which is, he didn't edit it. It's far too long, but it's fucking funny. If you just fast forward to the last 2 minutes, it's pretty funny. And where we go from there, I'm not quite sure. But I know now that we have a Nerd Eye Council YouTube page, I'm going to start doing some of the ideas. My idea was to branch off through Podbean, but Podbean wants more money, and I don't have more money. And neither does Nate.
Because we're poor.
And Ralph sure as fuck don't have no money. So we're just going to explore all avenues of how to put the podcast out there, and when we stumble upon the one that feels like it works the best, we'll go with that. We do have a Facebook page. Do we ever upload them?
Yeah, it's been neglected for a little bit,
right?
But we are on Facebook, Nerd Eye Council.
If you go there and you see nothing, leave a comment about what lazy bastards we are, and maybe that'll motivate someone. But I'm not a Facebooker. We have a Facebook page that we have kind of neglected, but like I said, we're kind of turning our eyes towards other avenues, so maybe we'll start uploading on Facebook, which is a good forum everybody is on fucking Facebook.
Yeah, it seems to be the more popular social media avenue.
I like Podbean a lot, man, but we're stuck doing one podcast at what we pay at our pay grade, and the jump up is quite big.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. So, anyways, back to Star Wars. So, spoilers. It's been out a full week now, or almost a full week.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Twin Suns.
And if you haven't seen it, it is on YouTube. You can go watch it without the commercials. And
have you seen it lately? Have you been on YouTube?
I haven't been on since we saw it earlier in the week. It was like Tuesday or something, yeah.
So I saw it Sunday night on YouTube. Thank you, Disney, for not being awful overlords. And then I told Nate about it, and Nate's like, damn. And I'm like, yeah, dude, check it out. It might still be on there. And I didn't think it would be Tuesday, but it was. I don't know if it is now. Anyway, find a way to see it, because I'm not a weekly, and neither is Nate a weekly viewer of Rebels. But everyone, including myself, is saying this is the best Rebels episode. And we're going to break it down for you, because there's some serious canon that happened in this episode. First of all, what do we want to say leading up to it? The episode was really good. What they've been doing, if you are behind on things in the Rebels world, what they've been doing is Maul came back a year ago, or almost a year ago.
Yeah, thereabouts.
And he is not Darth Maul, he is Maul, and he is anti-Sith. He just fucking hates everybody. He's full of anger. There's only half a guy, but full of anger.
Right.
And he's just pissed, and he wants vengeance. He says he's not a Sith, but I tell you what, man, he embraces the Sith ideology. And so he approaches Ezra Bridger, the star Jedi of the show, and begins to seduce him with the dark side. So he does practice dark side magic, and we're seeing more and more of this. The trend in Star Wars is that, and I believe that they are eventually going to get rid of the ideas of the Sith versus the Jedi. I think we're moving in that direction. Between there's a character on Rebels that they have played up in earlier episodes, the Bindu, which Nate was telling me is actually the original name of the Jedi, or someone was telling me.
Yeah, I think somebody had said that.
The way that Lucas first wrote Star Wars, that's where they cherry picked it from. Anyways, that character is kind of like he's telling one of the Jedi, Ezra's first master, Kanan. He's speaking to Kanan, and he's telling him, like, no, there's just one Force. There's not a light side and a dark side. There's only manipulations of the Force. And so we kind of start to feel that with Episode 7, like Kylo and his situation. What is Rey exactly? She's not the classic Jedi necessarily, and it's yet to be seen what happens with that character. But I really feel like, for whatever reason, they are kind of evolving. Disney is kind of evolving the idea of the Force. We saw a little bit of it in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Force users, but not Jedi.
Yeah, not Jedi or Sith, just
and not
basically
even
religious.
I said Force users, but he wasn't even.
Yeah, he really didn't even use.
He didn't wield the Force.
He didn't use the Force in the traditional sense.
Right.
Like
but when he grabs his stick and he fucks up 8 or 9 stormtroopers in like several blows, which is very reminiscent of Obi-Wan actually in Rebels.
Right.
And we'll get to that, but yeah, I mean, you have to think that character. What the hell is his name? I always forget. Chirrut.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
You have to think in those scenes that he was channeling the Force somehow. With a broom handle. So anyways, there seems to be this kind of like evolution of the Force going on in the new Star Wars. And so that's where we are at this point, where Maul is telling Ezra, you need to learn the dark side, I'll train you, you'll become more powerful. And together, Maul's like using him to get his own vengeance. So that's where we're at up until the episode Twin Suns. So, the episode, and if I miss anything, jump in, Nate.
Yeah.
But the episode basically starts out where we see Maul on Tatooine. So he has found Obi-Wan, but he has not found Obi-Wan. He's on the desert planet of Tatooine.
Yeah, he knows Obi-Wan's on the planet, but he doesn't know exactly where Obi-Wan is.
Right.
And so he uses Ezra to bring out Obi-Wan. So he sends out he reaches out through the Force to the
Holocron.
the Jedi and the Sith holocrons that Ezra has in his possession, and kind of manipulates it to where Obi-Wan's in danger, and so Ezra breaks off from the group and goes to Tatooine.
Fucking Ezra.
To help Obi-Wan. To which, and of course, this is a Disney show, and they have to fill 25 minutes. So, what happens? He lands, and he gets caught in a Tusken Raider trap.
Yeah.
In which they blow up the A-wing that he comes in on.
It was pretty cool, though I have to admit, it was pretty cool to hear the... And they had this scene with the Tusken Raiders, like Nate said, he kind of like walked into a trap, and they had a very reminiscent of Episode 4.
Yeah, that was right.
With Luke.
It's basically the same thing.
Almost the same scene.
He falls down and looks up.
It's almost the exact same scene.
Right.
Which is, I gotta throw this out there just to prove my nerdiness, my Star Wars nerdiness. That scene, if you don't know, I recently heard that scene, of course, Star Wars, Lucas was brilliant at cutting corners, because he didn't have much money, but apparently that scene, the Tusken Raider that they shot only goes, and raises his weapon up one time, and in order to get the effect, they just looped it like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, then that's where the...
So you see the Tusken Raider go, and he's like doing this like very reminiscent of like the Middle Eastern people when they're all riled up. But yeah, that scene was just one Tusken Raider going, raising his rifle up in the air. And they looped it to get the effect.
Wow. So the ship that Ezra comes in on, the A-Wing, it gets destroyed in the Tusken Raider attack.
And for the record, I knew it was an A-Wing now. I said, hey, it's an A-Wing.
There you go. Harkening back to our discussion between an A-Wing and a snowspeeder.
When Jeremy was humbled. But wrong. So...
Ezra and the robot. What's the robot's name? Chopper. They get stranded there, and he's using the holocron to try to find Obi-Wan, and he wanders out in the middle of the desert on Tatooine with no supplies, and he thinks that's a good idea for some reason.
Yeah, Plot hole. It's funny, if you watch Star Wars, the Jedi are all powerful, all knowing, but they seem to forget the stupidest shit sometimes. He just runs off to this desert planet to find Obi-Wan, which I don't know if there's any history with Ezra and Tatooine. I mean, not that I know of. I'm going to a planet I've never been to. I'm going to find Obi-Wan on this one man on this giant planet that's full of deserts and storms, and he just starts walking.
Right.
But
I'll find him somehow.
But then Maul did the same thing. Before Ezra did the exact same thing.
Right.
Anyways.
And
they had to fill some time.
Right. And Ezra collapsed from this mini sandstorm and just sheer exhaustion and dehydration or whatever. He gets found by Obi-Wan.
2 suns being down on your ass.
Right.
You ain't gonna last long.
Right. Fry your ass. He's followed by Obi-Wan, who says, Maul used you to find me and all this stuff, and basically, blah, blah, blah.
He actually says, and it kind of gave me chills, man, because let's talk about Obi-Wan's appearance for a second.
Right.
He actually says, and I might be misquoting, "You're in the wrong place, Ezra Bridger." And the way he says it, it's like, Alec Guinness?
Right. So Obi-Wan in this one, if you don't know much about Rebels takes place in between episodes 3 and 4. Kind of in between there. So it's kind of closer to 4, I would say.
A few years away from 4.
Right. And so the Obi-Wan design is so identical to episode 4.
Spot on.
But the actor who does the voice sounds just like...
We should find out who that is, because I tell you what, he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, like he sounds just like Alec
Guinness.
Alec Guinness. Sounds just like him and looks just like him, which obviously had to look like him because it's so close to episode 4.
Right.
And so, kind of hearing it and seeing it in an animated form is kind of trippy.
A new experience.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, the voice, it gave me chills just because the guy nailed it. Sounding so much like the older Obi-Wan in episode 4. And then he puts his hood down and you see Alec Guinness. You see the white beard and the white hair and the facial structure, and you kind of like, it is trippy. You're kind of like, whoa, in cartoon form. Here he is.
Like they basically took Alec Guinness and they animated him.
Yeah.
Almost, it's exact.
Very well done. It was.
If you were to take him out and put him into an actual movie, into the movie, it'd be seamless.
Right.
So they have this little conversation and everything, and then of course Maul shows up.
You know what I thought was really interesting about that scene? So Ezra's telling him, I came to find you we need you to save the rebellion, and Obi-Wan's kind of like, you little Jedi, you don't even know what's going on. And he's basically informing him like, hey, the rebellion needs you, blah, blah, blah. Maul, he says, I came to tell you something, he says, about Maul.
Yep.
Yeah, because fucking Obi-Wan has been doing nothing but becoming a badass Jedi Master. Training in his little cave, or channeling Yoda, Qui-Gon for countless hours, who knows.
Doing something.
But he is in tune with the Force, for sure, and basically tells Ezra, yeah, I know what you're doing here. I've known about it for a while. And Ezra's like, oh. Ezra goes on to say, but then Maul shows up, and Ezra's like, I'm going to help you. And Obi-Wan kind of looks at him like, what does he say? He says a great line. He says, I'll take care of this old wound.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, poor Maul. You're just a wound. You're a scab that just keeps reappearing.
You're nothing more than a wound to him.
But I thought that was kind of a cool Easter egg. Hint, hint, wound. I've already wounded him once before. I'll take care of this. And he basically sends Ezra on his way and tells him, you need to basically stop running off from your friends. Your place is with the rebels, with the Alliance, and quit trying to lead the pack. Know your place. And there's Wreck-It Ralph. Go ahead, Nate.
All right, so as we get Ralph on the phone, we'll try to figure out this, see if this...
What's up, homie?
Hey,
what's going on?
And
all right, so you're on my POS phone, so you basically have to scream like Steve does.
Alright, yeah, dude, I'm playing through fucking traffic was a bitch.
So
yeah, you live in a big city now. I said you live in a big city now.
Oh yeah, these motherfuckers ain't doing all that driving shit. Assholes. So what are we talking about, gentlemen?
We are talking about Rebels.
Rebels.
We're
Rise again.
Not those rebels.
We're talking about rebel porters that leave their home and stray far away.
They're called quarter sexuals.
You know what, dude? Copyright that because that's catchy.
It is catchy.
Porter sexual.
I'm not a homosexual. I'm a quarter sexual.
Steve's like, I'm not a fag. I'm a porter sexual. Wife told me I'm a porter sexual. Alright, so.
Is that like a predator sexual?
Predator sexual fits him a little better, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So we're realistically we're talking about Star Wars. Go figure. We're talking about the Rebels episode last week. You didn't see it?
No, I missed it. I gotta get my cable and internet set up, bro. I'm living like it's 1995, bro.
I like 1995.
1995, I graduated high school.
Hey, I graduated in 96. Shut the fuck up.
No, yeah, that's right, 96. That's right, you're old as shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I told Ralph this morning, we were talking about him calling in, and I kind of like said, hey man, did you see the Rebels episode? No. I said, well, this is what we're going to be talking about. So I gave him a brief description of what happened. And that's what we're talking about right now, man. We're talking about Maul just enters the scene on Tatooine, and there's Ezra, and dude, I'm telling you what, you got to go see the last 2 minutes of this. We were just talking about how well they nailed Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
The animated version of him is just fucking spooky. It's almost trippy.
Yeah, they do, dude. I don't know, I was kind of hesitant and everything about watching Rebels and shit because it's a cartoon and, you know, Clone Wars kind of ruined it for me, but
Yeah.
I don't know, this is actually kind of a pretty decent, cartoon, so I'll take it.
You know what I think Rebels has going for it? I think because right now, well, Disney is behind everything, and Disney is trying very hard to kind of like lock everything together. And I think that's kind of like the Clone Wars. For me, the issue I had was, yeah, you can tell me this is canon, but it's not my canon.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, this is for little kids, so whatever they tell you on the show is not really part of the story. But it's different with Rebels because there's a lot more adult themes and stuff going on, and they have Disney.
Yeah.
They have Disney. I mean, a lot of what we're going to talk about with this episode is how it's going to tie into the movies and the future of Star Wars, because they changed some shit, man. In one episode, they changed some shit.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're talking about
it could be good or it could be bad, really. Who knows?
right. We're getting to that part, and then we'll all reveal our opinions about what happened. But
Right.
all right, Nate, catch us up. Where are we at?
Alright, so Maul enters the picture, Ezra runs off, and Obi-Wan and Maul have kind of a back and forth discussion and everything, and
It's important what he said.
Right, and Maul, basically, he figures out why Obi-Wan is on Tatooine.
So Maul's got his lightsaber in hand, and Obi-Wan's just staring him down, and Maul's doing that pacing thing, which is pretty fucking cool, like episode 1, you know? He's like pacing back and forth around this campfire while he's talking to Obi-Wan, and, you know, he starts off with like, oh, I found you, and he's like, but what are you doing on a desert planet in the middle of nowhere? You're not hiding. And Obi-Wan's just watching him. And he goes, maybe you're protecting something, guarding something. And you see Obi-Wan kind of squint at him like, oh, motherfucker. and then he's...
like old Obi-Wan, or is this like...
Yeah. No, dude, he is...
Episode 4.
Yeah. I mean,
Obi-Wan.
I mean, when you see Obi-Wan in Episode 4 for the first time, before we ever knew the prequels, when you're watching this episode and he pulls his hood down and he speaks, you're like, holy shit, it's him. Yeah, it was very, very cool. So Obi-Wan's staring him down while Maul's talking about, what are you protecting? And he says, or maybe you're not protecting something, maybe you're protecting someone. And when he says that, bro, Obi-Wan, you don't even see him go for his lightsaber. You just hear it, and you see the blue light on his face light up. At that point, he's like, okay, I gotta kill you now. Yeah. At that point, no more talk. This has to end only one way. Go ahead, Nate.
Yes. Right. So, Obi-Wan has his lightsaber drawn. Maul gets his double lightsaber out.
Starts
at the ready.
Starts swinging
and
it around.
And this is an important part in this episode. Because Obi-Wan goes from just a normal stance, and he goes to the lightsaber kind of up near his head, kind of pointing right at Maul.
The signature Obi-Wan move.
The Obi-Wan stance.
Who did that? That was a Hulk Hogan move. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah, they stole that. Or Hulk Hogan stole that shit from... Somebody stole that. I guess it would have been Obi-Wan stole it from Hulk.
And so he's in the Obi-Wan stance, and Maul's just looking at him, and you see that Obi-Wan gets an idea. Like, he's like, okay, yeah, check this out. So he moves from the Obi-Wan stance to the Qui-Gon stance. When he's got both hands on the lightsaber up near his head.
He looks like Sammy Sosa. You know, that stance. All right.
And you see Maul, like, his eyes kind of like widen a little bit. Like, oh crap. So then Maul goes into his spinny, twirly double lightsaber thing, and he moves in and tries to do that hit in the face that he did on Qui-Gon, right?
Right, from episode 1.
From episode 1. So he tries to do that, and we're not joking about this. This battle ends in less than 5 seconds. And Obi-Wan blocks, slices right down the middle. And Maul's just like, and then he collapses.
Cuts his lightsaber right
in half. And then and then Obi-Wan just doesn't even break a sweat.
No. Dude, it was sincerely fucking mind-blowing.
And it's mind-blowing, but it's also a little anticlimactic.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, because Maul is obsessed with finding Obi-Wan. He's like, I'm going to find him, I'm going to find him, I'm going to end this. And Obi-Wan's like, fuck you, bitch. And it just ends Maul right there. So then we come to the critical part. Maul is laying.
So Maul falls down.
Right, he's laying in Obi-Wan's arms. And he's like...
fucking Obi-Wan catches him.
Right.
Obi-Wan fucking blocks, kills, and then he catches him before he hits the ground, dude. It's pretty impressive. He's holding him like a baby, like, go ahead, say your last words.
And so Maul looks at him, and he looks at Obi-Wan and he says, tell me, is he the chosen one? And Obi-Wan looks at Maul and says, yes, he is the chosen one. Talking about Luke.
Because he actually says, because they were very particular about this, saying that he actually says, is the one, how does he say, is the one you're watching over the chosen one?
Right.
And Obi-Wan says, yes, he is. And
then Maul says something just before he dies. He's like, he will avenge us all.
And then he dies.
And then dies.
And Obi-Wan closes his eyes because Obi-Wan's like, that's right, go to sleep, little bitch. Go to sleep. And don't you ever come back.
You're like, yo ass ain't coming back for episode 8.
So let's explore the duel for a second. What little duel that it was.
Yeah, right.
Because like Nate was saying, man. Okay, so what happened for me when we were coming home from your house last weekend? Chris and I were talking about, hey man, Rebels is coming on tonight. It's that Obi-Wan episode, Maul and Obi-Wan. And I'm like, yeah, man, tape it. You got that channel. He's like, I don't think I got that channel. And I knew he did, but I'm like, just look for it, So anyways, he texts me that night, last weekend, Saturday night, and he's like, holy shit, bro, I'm sitting here watching Rebels. And in true Darth Ginger form, he's like, I can pause it. I can come get you if you want. And I'm like, no, man, that's all right. I'm like, he's like, it's fucking intense. And while I'm texting him, a couple minutes goes by and he doesn't say anything. And I'm like, dude, just tell me, does Maul die? Because you guys know how I feel about it. I wanted to see Maul come to the movies. I wanted to see him come back.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it's highly doubtful now, but you never know.
Right.
Anyways, so I'm like, dude, I just want to know if Maul dies. Is he dead? Does he kill him? And Chris is like, are you sure you want to fucking know that? And I'm like, just tell me. So like a couple minutes go by and he goes, he's dead as shit, bro. And I was like, no. So that night I go to bed, man, and I'm like on YouTube surfing, and I'm like, I wonder, because I know I've seen a Rebels episode before on YouTube, and a lot of times people will throw them up real quick on Saturday night after they air, and Disney, pulls them the next day or whatever. Usually they have left this one up, probably on purpose.
Yeah.
Get more people talking about it or whatever. So that's how it played out for me. I watched it in bed Sunday or whatever, and I was like, holy shit. And I actually watched it back to back because I started reading comments and YouTube comments, and when I read a couple of the comments, somebody said something about their stances changing. This fucking fight happened so fast, Ralph, that you're like, did I tell you, Nate, about the stances before you watched it?
No, you told me. You told me to watch the episode, and I watched the episode. And then in typical Jeremy form, while he's working, while I'm on break, he comes in, he sees I'm watching the episode, he's like, no, I can't leave, I gotta watch it.
Oh, motherfucker, I took like an hour and 10-minute break, and then I saw Nate watching the episode in the break room, and I'm like, oh fuck work, I'm gonna watch this. You didn't hear that, Lisa?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Calvin's gonna listen to this, go, Lisa, listen to this shit. Jeremy took 2 hours of his day and did this shit.
It had nothing to do with my ass, so thank you.
I was like, see? I told you it wasn't me.
I told you it wasn't me, Lisa. I was working.
Yeah, you better watch it over there, because that girl is her friend, homie.
Oh, I know, dude. I've actually seen that girl like maybe twice in the past week and a half.
There you go, low profile.
Yeah, I'm doing a Nate before Nate got
Know when to be seen and when not to be seen.
Exactly.
That's what I know we're bouncing off the podcast here, but Jeff was telling me he came out there and saw you.
Oh, dude, that scared the shit out of me. I'm like in the shower, right? Like I'm cleaning the shower, I open up the fucking door, and Jeff is standing there right there. It's like he teleported or some shit, dude. I'm like, what's up, Jeff? He's like, here's your papers, and then he walked away. I'm like,
gangster.
Master. Thank you, Jedi Master.
I'm Batman.
And he walks away like, here's your papers. It was part of fucking the process what's going on right now, and he fucking hands it to me, puts his hood up, and walks away.
In typical Jedi fashion.
I'm like, wow.
Ralph opens up the door and sees Jeff, and he's like, turns around and looks back in the shower. Am I in Sawyer? Mandela effect? What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then Steve's not. You can hear Steve going, "You're not in Sawyer anymore, bitch."
You're not doing no more, Toto.
So anyways, where was I at? Okay. So the first time I saw it, man, it's so fucking fast the way it happens. I had the same feeling because I was really waiting for this episode, and Disney actually took like their sweet fucking time putting this episode on, because they took a little mini break for 2 weeks, and then they came back on and showed the Mandalorian episode or whatever it was about the Ren character and Mandalore, and everybody was like, oh, that's such a good episode, can't wait to see Obi-Wan and Maul fight, and then they took 2 more weeks off before they actually showed this episode, so they built it up big time. And anyways, this duel happened so fucking fast that I felt myself like, holy shit, like, that was badass, but that's all you're gonna give us? I mean, there's this thought when he's laying there dying, like, well, he's gonna get back up, right? But sure shit, no, he's dead. So I started reading these comments, and they started talking about, like, Obi-Wan baited him. And just watch. And people were like, no. People were bitching about it, and then other people were like, no, man, it was a fantastic duel. Look at how...
I bait a lot of guys, too.
Yeah? How's that work for you over there?
No, that's not bad. My hands are getting small.
I thought you meant bait a lot of dudes, like you're like, hey, shower 7, I got some rims in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. If I said my hands are too small, motherfuckers are like 13 inches.
I can't put these rims on my car. My hands are too small.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well have them.
Like 22-inch rims, man.
So I went back and I watched it again. I watched not the whole episode, but the last duel, the last 5 minutes or whatever. And when after like knowing that knowledge, it kind of took on a different perspective, because I was watching very closely, and they show you, dude, like there's an intense stare down between the two with their lightsabers out, and Obi-Wan's in, I believe it's what do they call that? Defense 3 or the lightsaber moves. What do they call those?
Or is it 7? Or is it Sarisu?
What do they call that? Not you know, Obi-Wan's really good with that defensive form 7 or form 3 or
yeah.
I don't remember which one it is.
The one that Obi-Wan's famous for.
Right, where he just basically. And this guy on the comment section was going on and on talking about this, and it made a lot of sense that it kind of puts this duel, Ralph, kind of puts a new perspective on the future episodes, like episode 4, 5, and 6, and 7, but also on episode 3, on the battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar, because this guy was talking about, like, Obi-Wan was in that defensive form the whole time because he didn't want to kill him.
Right.
He didn't want to do it, man. It was just like he took everything. That's when he got the high ground. He's like begging him, "Don't do it, dumbass!
You stupid idiot!"
He's like, "I battled 45 minutes. My arms are killing me. I could have killed you a long time ago." But no, this guy was going on and on about, like, see, that was like because he was a master of that form, but no other forms, really. And now he's a fucking badass hiding out in the cave, and he knows all sorts of Jedi forms and shit, lightsaber forms. And when they're dueling, dude, you see them staring each other down, and then the camera shifts to their feet, and you see Obi-Wan, like, adjust his feet. And then after he does that, the camera looks back up at him, and he goes slowly into the Qui-Gon posture, and you're like, oh, fuck. That's Qui-Gon's move.
Yeah.
And Maul, seeing that, is like, oh, I remember your master. And Maul comes running at him like, I got you, bitch. And Obi-Wan's like, fooled me once, shame on me. Fooled me twice, shame on you. So the motherfucker runs at him and, like, does the same move, you know, where he hits Qui-Gon in the face with his hilt.
Yeah.
So he blocks the first two, like, it ain't nothing but a thing. And then when he goes to do that, like, I'm gonna hit you in the face with the hilt, that's when Obi-Wan just, like, leashes back and strikes from top down. And the lightsaber gets cut in half. You're kind of looking at Maul from behind, and you just see him, like, like his eyes light up, like, oh fuck, that hurt. And then you see like he cut him vertical this time.
Yeah.
He cut him right down the center. So fucking Obi-Wan baited him. He baited him. I've never seen a battle like that.
It shows. Well, of course, Obi-Wan has had a lot of time to tweak this form, a lot of time to train. You know, because when you're all alone on Tatooine, there's not much to do. But it goes to show just how fucking brilliant Obi-Wan is to take Qui-Gon's form and develop a way to strike quickly against Maul's attack. So basically tweaking it to strike quickly. You know, it's
crazy, and it's almost like he did the whole freaking Qui-Gon pose just to fucking give him some peace of mind that he killed him in Qui-Gon's stance type thing.
right. Like this one's for my bro.
It's for you, Blue.
But then the big canon altering statement.
Yeah, so we're kind of burying the lead here. So they basically said in this episode that Anakin was not the chosen one.
And I want to hear your thoughts about this, Ralph, because I'm gonna lay it out for you a couple of ways that I heard it, or that I heard it put. Because there's a lot.
I thought that with the chosen one, it can either be the father, and if the father fucks it up, then it's the son, and if the son fucks it up, then it goes on and on for generations until that one person really is the chosen one and really does balance the force. But it has to be in that family, I thought, like generation.
Where are you pulling that from, homie?
I don't know, the Godfather.
The Godfather.
I was like, that's kind of interesting. I've never heard that. I mean, I've heard it, but I didn't know if you were like.
I mean, why would Anakin? Okay, Anakin's the chosen one, but then, you know, he doesn't obviously bring balance to the Force, and then all of a sudden Luke is the chosen one, and Luke really has done nothing besides fucking farm. So what the hell is he the chosen one for? Just because his dad is a Skywalker.
Well, right, and of course Obi-Wan doesn't reveal how he's come to the conclusion that Luke is the chosen one. I mean, we don't know what basis that he's making this grand statement on. I mean, it's like, oh, well, Anakin fucked up, so I guess he's the chosen one. I guess I don't know.
Right. That's one of the things I wanted to bring up, because I heard someone say, "Oh, that's just Obi-Wan's opinion." But and I thought about that for a while, like, oh, well, I guess from Obi-Wan's perspective, it probably does look that way. Like he saw Anakin fall. Like, he saw the whole fall. I mean, you know what I mean? To when they were battling on Mustafar and he had to almost kill him. In Obi-Wan's mind at this point, well, let's say we're probably 3 years out from Episode 4. So do you think Obi-Wan is aware that Darth Vader is alive? That Anakin is alive?
I'm sure he does.
Do you think he knows?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
He does.
Why would they separate the kids? Why would they separate Luke and Leia, and Luke take them to the family and watches over them? Just
from, well, there's an empire now from the Emperor. To get away from the Emperor. My thought is this. Battle of Mustafar. You can look at it two ways. You could say to yourself, he didn't have the fucking heart to put his lightsaber through his heart. Like, maybe that's what happened, or maybe he fucked him up so good, he's like laying there in lava with one limb, no limbs. What did he have? Part of a limb?
I think it was, yeah.
One. He was missing 2 legs and an arm, I thought.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, facts, man. So I think at that, to me, I always looked at episode 3 like he thought he was going to die. He left the planet like, you're all by yourself, pal, and you're going to bleed out, or you're going to starve, or whatever's going to happen. You're going to die. I don't need to put my lightsaber through your chest. Boy, big mistake. Little bit of an oversight there, Obi-Wan. So you could either look at it like he didn't have the heart to do it, or he actually thought Anakin was going to die. So fast forward, what is it, 15 years, or 20 years, or whatever?
Yeah.
To this. There you go. I think it was 19. To this moment, this Rebels episode. So maybe it's like 16 years or something.
Yeah.
So 16 years later, he, Yoda, and Qui-Gon are talking. We can assume.
We have to assume.
We have to assume that they're talking to each other through the Force because of the way 3 leaves us to believe. And then leading into 4. So all 3 of those motherfuckers think he's dead? There has to be one of them that's like, no, he's still alive.
I think what happened was Obi-Wan Kenobi chilling out in his land speeder pulls up to a red light, and then Darth Vader pulls up next to him, and he's like, oh, shit.
It's you. Shit, it's you. How'd you get arms and legs?
Right. Nice suit.
Yoda knew. Yoda had to have known.
We can't say had, because Yoda didn't know shit about the Emperor either. You know. I don't know. Okay, so I guess the question is episode 4. When they are on the Falcon, baby, and they are going towards that's not a moon.
That space station.
What does Obi-Wan say? He says something about I feel a presence that I have not.
Like your father's on that ship, or Darth Vader's on that ship.
He does.
Darth Vader.
He does say that.
Yeah.
I thought he said I feel a or is that Vader that says that?
Vader says that. I feel a presence.
Yes.
Something.
You're right.
And that's when Obi-Wan said, Darth Vader's on that ship or something.
So those 2 moments happen like one after another.
See, he had to have known he was alive because he told Luke that Darth Vader killed his father, Anakin.
Good point.
So he had to have known he still lived. Obi-Wan's
quite the Riddler, I guess.
Right,
he could have been talking in metaphor, like, I don't want to tell you I killed your dad. And we just became friends. I don't think I should tell you I murdered your father.
Hey, dude, I like your haircut, but I killed your dad.
He's like, here, take this. He's like, here, take this weapon that you don't know how to handle or control your emotions yet, and now I'm going to tell you what happened to your daddy.
Funny story about that.
Oh, shit.
Yoda's whispering in his ear, it would not be wise for you to tell him.
Don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're
Murder your ass, he will.
Yeah, that's the same lightsaber your father had just before I cut him in half.
I made him look like a fucking fishing boat.
He never even knew you were alive.
You were supposed to be the stain on the carpet.
You were the stain on his cape.
You were a stain on the cape.
The fucking Emperor was like, oh, God, I hate doing your laundry, Darth. He's like, the gloves rub me the wrong way. I have to use the cape. I made that cape for you. This is totally a Robot Chicken episode. So where the fuck were we? Alright, so I guess we don't really know. I mean, it seems like Obi-Wan seems like he does know, but we can't prove it. But we can't prove it. I wonder if that's going to be one of those things that they kind of retcon.
But if he didn't know, then that short scene on the Death Star in Episode 4 would have went completely different.
Which one?
When Obi-Wan and Vader meet.
Okay.
You know, if he honestly did not know that Vader and Anakin were the same person, and if he was, I'm assuming he's still using semi-similar moves than what he learned at the Jedi Academy or whatever. So there has to be some sort of familiarity there. So if he honestly didn't know, he'd be like, wait a minute, you're using the same moves that Anakin did. Who are you, imposter?
Right. I guess their duel kind of,
because there was familiarity, like they knew each other.
Right. He says to him, one of them says, "We meet again."
I think it was like Vader says it to him, and he's like, and then he retorts back.
Here's what happens. Obi-Wan says, "Darth Vader, we meet again," doesn't he? Or something like that. And
I think he says, "We meet again, old master," or something like that.
And then and Darth Vader retorts with, "Yes, except this time, the apprentice is now the master."
Yeah.
So they definitely know who each other are.
Yeah.
You know,
but here's still the question mark. Does he know that before the Death Star starts pulling him in and he feels
I'm
it?
sure he does.
You think so?
I'm sure he has to. If he's on this planet and he's, let's say he's mastering the Force, you know, because when he left at the end of Episode 3, he wasn't, you know, completely mastered the Force.
Right.
You know, he wasn't a Jedi Master. He was still a Jedi Knight.
Right.
So he had to have been, and not only that, but Yoda also taught, it was going to teach him how to communicate with Qui-Gon, basically. He didn't say Qui-Gon, but it was implied that there's an old friend that wants to talk to you or something like that.
What if we find out, I don't mean to interrupt you, Nate, but what if we find out in Episode 8 or 9, because I'm so dying for a Qui-Gon mention, just bring his name up. What if we find out that Qui-Gon was talking to Darth Vader as a Force ghost? He loved that kid. He did.
Checking in like a father. So, how you doing?
And he's like, I don't really approve of the outfit, but I was thinking.
Anakin was going crazy, killing them. What were they? Sand people or something? He was killing somebody, and he kept hearing Anakin or Qui-Gon's voice in the background.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's right.
Episode 2. Good call.
Yeah, so he might have been talking to him even after he became Darth Vader.
I'm telling you, there was a connection between that kid and him that you could see. You could see Qui-Gon be like, I'm a ghost now. I got some time on my hands.
So how was your day?
Man, just don't tell anybody what we're doing.
Yeah, you know that Yoda dude's still alive. Don't tell him, because that won't look good.
He's like, you threw away the tapes we made in my basement.
Always count on Ralph for the comic relief of the crew. I'm just trying to like throw out there like what changed after this last episode. Obviously, there's a big question mark about who the Chosen One is now. But how does that like reflect upon the entire saga now?
Well, yeah, and it's what I asked Jeremy Wednesday. In regards to Episode 8, are they now going to refer to Luke as the Chosen One now? Because in the previous episodes, there was always Anakin's the Chosen One, Anakin's the Chosen One, Anakin's the Chosen One. Are they now going to reference Luke now as the Chosen One? Are they going to make reference that Anakin was never the Chosen One? That's, whether it's Snoke says, no, Anakin was not the Chosen One. You were going to be the Chosen One. I foresaw your rise to power or something like that. If he's as old as rumors are say that he is, shit, he could have foresaw Luke's rise to power to where he is now and say, I foresaw your rise or something. You are the Chosen One, not your father.
Snoke.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe it's Ray that brings balance to the Force. Maybe Luke Skywalker fucked up on trying to be the chosen one because he had, obviously, Kylo Ren that went crazy on his ass.
Right.
So he couldn't bring balance to the Force, so that's why he went into hiding.
And
fall upon Ray, maybe.
right, and now this also could bring up another question: can there be two chosen ones at the same time?
Oh.
Because Luke is alive, and it's implied that he's the chosen one. Now here comes along Rey.
That's interesting.
With prospects of being a chosen one too. Can there be two chosen ones exist at the same time?
I would think not. I would think.
But remember at the cantina or wherever they were, that little alien girl went to Rey and said that the lightsaber chose her. So maybe that had something to do with it.
I think you're right, man. I think this is what Disney's doing. This is my best theory so far. I think Disney is like basically saying what you're saying, that well, there's not just one chosen one. And you know, the prophecy is very vague. Very vague. We have no idea what kind of Bible are they reading in that galaxy? You know, where's this prophecy? We don't know where the prophecy came from. Shit, nigga, we might find out Mace made it all up.
It's like Chinese telephone, dude. It fucking changed
Right.
the story.
Right. Mace shows up in episode 9 as the Force Ghost. He's like, shit, I just made that prophecy stuff up, man.
I just made that shit up, dude. I had too much Hennessy.
I got drunk one night on Hennessy. I started talking about the prophecy. You guys started writing it down. I just went with it. That's why when Anakin shows up with Qui-Gon and Qui-Gon's like, I think he's the chosen one. Mace is like, motherfucker, ain't no chosen one. I made that shit up.
He just says, motherfucker, dude.
That's just a slave boy on a desert planet. He ain't nobody.
He ain't nobody. He's like the random white kid that can raise a pot.
Oh what? The chosen one can't be black?
The chosen one can't be black? I was chosen. I'm chosen.
Oh shit. But yeah, I think that's kind of like where they're going with this. I think that there's going to be a chosen one for like every generation, or like there's a chosen one, but your path is not set in stone, right? That Star Wars kind of talks about that, like you can change your destiny. So what if you're the chosen one? Let's say Anakin as a Jedi, as a light side user, was the chosen one. And when he made the decision to go to the dark side, the Force is like, okay, reset button. And that's why she got knocked up. They never explained that either.
No.
They never really did.
I wanted to see that scene.
Right? Right? Instead of showing me Hayden Christensen with his shirt off 500 times. Where's Padme? Right.
Yeah, where's Padme at?
But you know what, dude? You know what? I was thinking when I was startled when I heard that. I'm like, holy shit! Did he just say Luke's the chosen one? And I'm thinking about it, and I told Nate this the next morning. I said, dude, I'm pretty sure, like in one of the special editions or something, I swear I've seen an interview with George Lucas somewhere where they said, so, is Anakin the chosen one? And he's like, yes, Anakin is the chosen one. And sure enough, bro, I had to go look it up, and I found it on YouTube, and it was one of the, like, special features for a DVD. I don't remember which one. But they're interviewing him, like he so often liked to do. Like, I'll just sit here in a chair for 2 hours before the movie, and you ask me questions.
Right.
Right.
But he did say Anakin is the chosen one. So I was saying to myself,
is this a fuck you to George Lucas by Disney?
Yeah.
Fuck you. We'll tell you who's the chosen one.
Fucking George Lucas gets the call Saturday night at like midnight.
George, you're never going to believe this.
George. This is Bob from the maintenance department.
He also made fucking
Yeah, you're right. Disney's like, remember Jar Jar, motherfucker? We're taking your chosen one.
Well, listen to this.
Well, listen to this.
I just pictured that he was flipping tables in his house when
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I said Anakin's the chosen one.
I'm George fucking Lucas.
It's my vision.
Yeah.
You fucking mouse. He's like, take the money back. Take the money back. You can have it all back.
Dude, no fucking way, dude. I have to say Disney's actually probably killing it right now.
They
Yeah,
are.
they are.
I mean, as fans, we can't. There's nothing hardly at all to complain about with what they're doing with the universe. It's just been fantastic, and I keep saying it, and y'all are gonna hear it. You're gonna keep hearing it until December. Episode 8 is gonna be the shit. It's gonna be the shit, man. It is. We're gonna get a heavy dose of Jedi Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, who might even be the chosen one.
Right. And speaking of episode 8, your ass better be up here. You better get the day off, or I don't care what the fuck you got to do, because we're going to see this together.
Yeah, we are.
I will be there.
Did you use up all your vacay days already?
I don't think so. I might have. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be there much longer anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to find something else. This fucking pay ain't working for crap, so.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, we know how it is.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir. The poor ass choir.
Poor ass choir, that's for sure.
Singing into a microphone made out of wood.
Yeah.
By the way, before we end this Rebels episode, how's your podcast going?
I haven't even started, dude. I ain't got no internet yet, so I'm gonna wait till I get internet and cable and shit like that, so I can have some background, or so I can have some, references and shit like that.
Right.
I actually, honestly, haven't watched wrestling since I moved out here, and I'm like withdrawing from it.
Well, I started talking in the beginning of this podcast about the branching off, the spin-offs. Sell your shit, man. What's it going to be about?
Yeah.
What's it going to be about? Tell us. Tell the viewers.
Let's see. It's going to be similar to what we're doing right now with the Nerd Eye Council, but I'm also going to be throwing in some wrestling, some trailers, some movie trailers, a bunch of spoilers. You know how I am. Spoilers.
Yeah, if you don't want a movie spoiled for you, don't listen to Ralph's podcast. He can't help it.
Alright, fellas. Well, I got to go. My kids are crossing the street as we talk.
Alright, homie. It's always good to talk to you and have you on the council.
All right.
Peace out, bro.
Peace out. Later, guys.
All right,
See ya.
later.
Later.
And that's our home dog right there.
Yep, and that was Ralph calling in on the Nerd Eye Council hotline.
On the Jedi phone.
Right.
So yeah, we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
They've changed a lot of the future of Star Wars, and I think what we're experiencing has yet to be unfolded. I think Disney has set out a 50-point plan to reveal or change the universe, and I think we're like in step 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I think more things are going to come to light, like about Luke possibly being the chosen one. I think in episode 8 we're going to get a heavy dose of like what happened to the council, or to his council, the newly formed Jedi Council that didn't work. What happened, I think, during all those years we didn't really hear much about in episode 7, between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I actually saw something. I know we do a podcast about all this shit, and it's really hard. It's very conflicting. I hate spoilers. Hate spoilers. I'm the kind of guy, man, that, I mean, yes, I love movie trailers. I love movies, period. But I'm the kind of guy that tries to go into the movie theater knowing as little as possible. Unfortunately, Ralph's my friend, and that's very difficult. Now, Ralph's brother is terrible, too. Joe's the same way. But having said that, I have to watch shit so that I can tell you people, so that Nate and I can discuss it and we can get it out there. And I did see a couple of things, like the trailer for episode 8 is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see it's getting close because Disney's starting to like drop little nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
That I saw on my YouTube page, the thumbnail was first image of. Have you seen this? First image of Luke from episode 8. So they're showing stills.
No, I've refused to watch or do anything.
I know, but once that trailer comes out...
Well, yeah, of course I'm going to watch the trailer.
Yeah,
but...
And then after the trailer, I have to force myself to be a little more immersive. I kept telling myself, like, hey man, we got a year. I am not diving into this yet. But we're going into April now. It's less than a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to be hearing more about Star Wars and other things. I do want to mention what I heard to end the podcast. All that exciting, positive news about Star Wars. And now we'll show you the flip side, the dark world that is called Warner Brothers in the DC universe. We are getting a trailer tomorrow?
Yes, the Justice League official trailer is dropping tomorrow.
About time.
So.
And so that'll be awesome. We'll probably talk about that next podcast. And we'll talk more about the DC woes. But I want to leave you guys on this. This is what I heard most recently from Collider, which is a very reliable source. The Batman movie is getting a total new script. That's been confirmed. The Flash movie may be completely in jeopardy.
Not surprising.
Not really surprising since they've gone through so many directors and a total rewrite, and then we're in the middle of that rewrite, I guess, because I never heard.
Yeah, there's not been much news out of there.
And talk now is that regardless, possibly, this is what Collider said,
right.
Possibly, regardless, I mean, if Wonder Woman and Justice League make $1 billion, that's different.
Right.
But maybe even regardless, if that doesn't happen, no matter how they perform, Warner Brothers might have given all of the control to Matt, what the fuck is his name, for the Batman movie? The director.
Oh, right. Over the entire DC?
Batman universe.
Oh. Well, yeah. Matt Reeves, yeah.
Okay. We might come to find out here in the coming weeks or months that the reason that they renegotiated and told Matt Reeves, okay, you can do whatever you want with the Batman, is because they had already decided that they're going to reboot the whole universe.
This is what possible.
This is what Collider is saying.
I mean, basically this year they're putting all their chips on the table with Wonder Woman and Justice League.
Right.
If either one or both of them flop,
it's a redo.
They have to reboot it. They can't just keep pushing out stuff.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because they're just going to lose money.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of in that mindset now.
Even if they make $600, $700, $800 million, technically that's losing money because these should be billion-dollar franchises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. This Justice League movie years ago, Warner Brothers executives were going, "Hey, that's $1 billion. That's $1 billion right there, easy." Apparently, it's not that easy.
Nope.
Apparently, it's not that easy to make a fucking blockbuster movie. All right, so we're going to leave you on that note, and we will be back next week. That's the plan between Nate and I, and hopefully we can get Ralph to call back in. And the council carries on, just like the remnants of the Star Wars galaxy. In one way or another, the council must carry on.
Yes.
But until that time, same bat time, same bat channel.
And of course, as always, we are one with the Force, and the Force is with us.
And the Force is with us. Peace.
See ya.